Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
He's on a fish diet. He drops bombs. He looks like Connor Garland in overtime, all right? I was actually just looking back on another fantastic broadcast by the one and only John Shorthouse. Oh, Shorty. I hear you. So they've just heard me talking to myself
They've
about
just
my
heard you
dog farting.
talking. Hi, Kaja, you're muted. I realized. Okay, hi, I'm Kaja Antic. This is Joey Pitt, and that's Shorty Pitt. He's
Hi.
he's a little beagle. Audio scuff like PD scoring touch. All right, this is but yeah, that's Shorty. You didn't hear it. He ripped one right before we were going on air. Like I'm hitting the countdown, and then Joey just yeah.
Yeah.
That was the context. Anyway, I apologize. Joey could hear me, but the rest of
Yeah.
you couldn't. Um, sucks to be you. Just kidding. Um, the Vancouver Canucks win in overtime, which is rare, honestly.
We're
Um,
up your W's.
no.
Getting your wins on the West Coast. You love to see it when you roll into the Staples Center. It's a tough rink to win in. The Staples Center, that is, tough rink to win in, and they do it.
It's not the Staples Center anymore.
No, it is the Staples
This
Center.
is the Staples Center. Yep.
Yeah. Where did Kobe drop 80? The Staples Center. That's what it's called.
Okay. We won in overtime. The Canucks have not lost in the state of California this season. Yep, that sounds right. To be fair, this is like the only team. I mean, actually, I think Anaheim's like crawling their way up there. Never mind. Um, I just look at like, oh yeah. Um, yeah. Most of your streams, you have the lights off. Why are they on this time? I felt like it. Also, light switch is too far away from me to.
Well, now you got me wondering about my. What if we go back to this, brother?
No.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
No, it's just very bright. Um,
Just like my personality.
I am sensitive. Okay, thank you, Joey. Um, three leads blown in 3 games. That's Canucks hockey. We won this one. The Canucks win in overtime 3-2 over the Los Angeles Kings. Only had to get 17 shots on goal to do it. Um, and the goal started with a weird one from Niels Hoglander.
Hey, that's a big hog goal, and you know what? We love to see that. All right, that's his fifth of the year, and for a guy that scored 24 last season, and if you remember those 24, they were all scored at even strength. He didn't get any power play time last season,
Of course.
and obviously, you look at Vancouver; they were a PDO team last year. A little bit of that Thomas Drance erotica, to quote John Shorthouse, but. And Hoglander was a really big proprietor of that, so to speak. And this year, the goals haven't come as easily for him, but you get a goal like that tonight where it's not one that Big Save Dave should be letting through, but sometimes you get a little bit of a bounce. Don't make faces about Big Save Dave. Come on.
Okay, I still think about when he was in Nashville in the playoffs and he went and he like ran into the goalpost trying to catch the puck.
Did you get the tail end of what I said? Because the certain listening Autobot on the Apple devices took over my speech there at the end.
I heard don't disrespect big or don't make that face about Big Save Dave.
Yeah,
The
okay.
the the
So
listening
apparently,
Autobot.
the S word that's 4 letters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that I don't want to say again because I don't want it to take over my microphone. His
Here.
problems with using Apple products. This is something I'm not used to.
Mm.
Anyways, so Nils Höglander, 5th of the year. Great to see.
Niels Höglander, assisted by Derek Forbert. It's great that they're able to put their past issues behind them. I didn't get that when I first saw that. Like the hit when he was in Winnipeg.
Oh.
Yeah, when Forbert was at Winnipeg, it was Hog's rookie year. I think this was the Canadian division year.
Yeah, this is North Division.
Oh yeah, North Division. Same.
But I'm not trying to correct you. As
Oh no! I was just like, it's the same thing. It's the
same difference.
same difference. No, and
Campbell
then,
Conference, Western Conference. What's the difference, right?
exactly. Yeah, and then Derek Forbert fought Zach McEwen about it the next time they played. Ah, miss that guy. Anyway, the first period was also pretty rough in terms of scrums. I didn't know, like, I understand the Canucks can have some energy sometimes, and yeah, they had Quinn Hughes back, which was probably a big push for them. But also LA is just like the American sliced cheese of the Western Conference. Like, they're just basic. You know, they don't do much, they don't add much flavor. They're just kind of there.
Effective, but
I know they're effective, but like, there's no whimsy. There's no joy. There's no I I have no other
where's the work rate? Where's the work rate? All right?
Yeah. I don't think that EP25 is a beauty. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's the less injured Elias Pettersson, or Elias yeah. This is why Joey's the more professional play-by-play guy.
Hey, you got to step it up. Vancouver's getting a P-dub team before you know it.
I know, I'm trying. But yeah, all that physicality, all that energy tapered off quickly for the Canucks. Except for in the second period, they have a power play, and Connor Garland, after going, was it pointless in 6 games? I think it was.
And it's pointless in 6 sounds bad, but when you're a player like Garland, who obviously he's a guy that the Canucks can rely on to score points, but it's not his main. He's there to cause turnovers on the forecheck, right? Like that is his main role. It's not necessarily that he has to cause the turnover and then take the puck to the front of the net and score. That's not. Of course, we've seen him do that, but that's not his real. Like, that's not why he's making the money. He's making the money to go in there on the forecheck, throw the hits on the defenders, make them cough the puck up. So, he'll find himself getting into 4 or 5 game slumps where he hasn't put up a goal or a point even. That said, he's such a good hockey player and like great sense to him, and he just gets himself in the right spots, And I would say if you look back at last season when the team was such a juggernaut, the idea of Connor Garland getting power play time is kind of weird when you think about it.
Well, yeah, but that's because we had like
centers. I know. I'm just saying though, but like it just in hindsight, you kind of think about it. It's like, oh wow, you're okay.
Hindsight is better vision than I'll ever have. So,
that's because you're a 4 eyes.
Why?
Nerd.
What? This is why I didn't invite you back on. That was mean. I'm sorry.
I thought that you didn't invite me on because last time we tried to do this, a legend died and Bruce Boudreau got fired. Like.
Yeah, we don't have the best. I wonder what happens now. Rick Tocchet gets fired.
Well, it's like, look. Well, I mean, maybe it might happen now. Like, it might be like a week out. Well, it's like, look, Kai, at the end of the day, you and I go way back like a lazy boy recliner. I mean, like, you and I have known each other since 1998 when you and I were hired as interns on Late Night with Conan O'Brien. And you and I became really close friends back then. So we've been through thick and thin with each other. So you and I can talk things through and maybe not jinx somebody losing their job or possibly worse. So on that note, let's get back to the hockey.
We didn't know. Oh God, this is going so well so far. I start the stream muted and now I'm threatening people apparently.
I didn't say you were threatening people.
I can if you want me to.
Okay.
All right. Filipino and Dakota Joshua also get, not sure where he went. Um,
I was just plugging in the laptop. My apologies.
all good. Filipino and Dakota Joshua also get the assists on that power play. Um, yeah, the power play, I can't believe they produced something. That's rare. I mean, again, it's against the Kings, but
Okay, let me ask you a question here, Kaya.
oh
Just
god.
out of curiosity. Which power play do you think is more ineffective currently? The modern iteration of the Canucks power play right now, as it is, take away the fact that they scored tonight. That
Mhm.
version, or like late Twins era, where like rookie Besser's there, but Alex Edler refuses to pass him the puck.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, that's hard.
And you also have the every time Edler starts a breakout, he's going to do the drop pass at center.
I love the Eagle, but damn, he did that a lot. I don't know. I want to say recency bias is this one, but that was also pretty awful. Um, yeah, also what was pretty awful, the Canucks' effort in the third period. Because not only did they have a 2-0 lead going into the third period, and LA has a losing record when they allow the first goal. LA has a losing record. Adrian Kempe, and let's just, that was a beauty. Like,
Oh, beautiful shot. Cutting across the goaltender, it looks like a glitch goal in NHL 12. If
mhm.
we're like, if I can kick in my little nerd genes there for a minute, like, and it's just a great shot. I think it might get deflected a slight bit off of whoever the cuck defender was in front of the net, but that still goes top corner. That's a great shot. And, I think Lankinen expected it to go a little bit lower. That's why I think it
Mhm.
was deflected.
Mm.
But that's still just a quality shot from Kempe, and it's a good job by him. He starts the breakout from the other end. He sidesteps Elias Pettersson, who's in on the forecheck. Little give and go. He'll go basically end to end from the ringette line down to the Vancouver zone, and he just gets the shot off and it goes. It's a great rush from him, and he gets rewarded for it. However, if you know the way that the Canucks have been giving up these third period leads, you could just see it coming from a mile away. It's like you heard the train whistle go. Sooner or later the train's going to come around the bend.
Yeah, oh. As
Ooh,
if
you.
I went blurry. It's like I took my glasses off. Um,
Hey, hi-oh.
how many glasses jokes can I make? I almost went to the kitchen and got my thing of gummy worms so that every time like some phrase was mentioned, I would eat a gummy worm. I forgot the gummy worms, so I don't know why I mentioned that. Anyway, yeah, it was a great it was a great goal. The second one was not so great, but then again, Canucks blowing the lead. I mean they do it almost as often as the Boston Bruins against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just kidding, the other way around. Um,
We'll
yeah,
we'll fix it in post.
we'll fix we'll fix it in post. Who cares? It's live. Warren Fogle scores? Question mark? Because it goes in to the net, which means it's a goal. But also he's kind of in the crease, but like not enough in the crease that Wes McCauley deems it to do his little fun voice for it. He's not in the crease, I know, but there's the high stick.
That's what I was looking at, because
Yeah.
that was clearly above the crossbar from every angle that Sportsnet showed. And, you
Mm-hmm.
like to give the benefit to the officials when it's a call on the ice because, it's like something like that, you see it, you have to make a judgment call. However, if you're sending that to Toronto, there's no excuse that you don't see that. I don't care if it's challenged for goaltender interference.
Yeah.
You guys, as a league, have to show a little bit of transparency and be like, hey, I know we're looking for this, but there's a blatant reason right there that we should disallow this goal. Like,
Yeah, that's like when you're trying to arrest somebody and you get them on like unpaid parking tickets when they have like murder charges, you know? Like that's like there's a blatant high stick. Yeah, sure they were doing a little thing there, but they did a bigger thing that's the bigger deal. I don't know why I liken it to that. I I keep saying things tonight. That's kind of my job, but like I have no idea what I'm talking about. But you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right, all right. Wes is still not as bad as Kelly Sutherland. I don't like his little smug voice. 5 minutes each for fighting. Okay, dude, I get it. You took drama 8 and got a C minus. Good for you.
See, I was cool. I took band so I could go on the trip to Edmonton.
You guys went to Edmonton?
That was the thing. We so KVR middle in Penticton, our thing was like if you took band all 3 years, you couldn't take drama 6 and 7 and then join band in grade 8. They're like, we're not going to take you to Edmonton for that.
Yep.
You got to ride it all 3 years.
Yep.
So the thing was, is like you would go and you would perform at a couple elementary schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we would do like Sherwood Park Elementary was one of the ones we did. And it's like, we'd show up, we'd play the Scooby-Doo theme and all the kids would clap for us. And then they would just let us free in West Edmonton Mall. Right.
I should have gone to school in Vernon. We got Whistler and like Victoria and
Well,
Seattle too.
Penticton, but
Yeah.
and to be fair though, it's like we got to.
Why did I say Vernon?
We had cross country skiing and regular downhill skiing gym units in PE. So where you just because Apex is like a 20-minute drive from Penticton. It's right up the so.
I have a funny story about that. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I popped into the shop to grab lunch and I put my rental snowboard down and then I came back out and I grabbed the wrong rental snowboard. I was snowboarding regular and I grabbed a goofy board, so I caught my edge and I just down the bunny hill, and I'd never snowboarded before. And it was not good.
Anyway, snowboarding.
Hockey though.
Hockey. Yeah, Warren Fogle, he was doing the goofy board flip thing. I haven't snowboarded since high school. So, that
was my one and only time.
Same here, but I did fall. Never mind. Anyway, Warren Fogle scores with a high stick. Who cares? Mm-hmm. It goes to overtime because of course it does. In overtime.
Well, can I quickly mention that Kiefer Sherwood did everything in his power to try to make sure this game didn't go to overtime.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, in the last, 9 seconds of the third period of play, he cuts to the front of the net. I think it's either Mikey Anderson, I think, is the one who comes back last second with the poke check to knock it off Sherwood's stick as he's trying to make a power move to the front of the net. Mm-hmm. Sherwood doesn't give up there. He collects the loose puck behind the net and tries to force a wraparound pass to the front of the net there for Joshua, I believe. And that gets intercepted on the way through. So it's like not one, but two great chances generated by Sherwood just working hard.
I feel like, he's already confirmed to basically be the winner for Unsung Hero this season.
Yeah,
but,
more or less.
Yeah, that was an insane final few minutes of regulation there from Sherwood. And also, this was later in the third, too, when Big Save Dave thought he had the puck, and it was literally on the line.
Yeah,
and then Spence came through?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was Heedle fresh out of the penalty box. Or was it Heedle? Now I'm doubting myself.
I don't know.
I believe it was a chance for Philip Heedle. Was he the one that took the minor penalty? Or served the minor penalty for the failed coaches challenge?
I mean,
because if it's him, then it's him. Because I'm pretty sure it was fresh out of the box.
It's usually Hoaglander that serves those, but I can check. Just because,
We're here. We're breaking it down. We might as well.
Events are. And it was Heedle. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I thought so.
Kiefer Sherwood is like the baby zombies in Minecraft. You can't get rid of him. Yeah. Yeah, you can't. He's great. We love Kiefer Sherwood in this house. Anyway, there's also the unsuccessful challenge. I am getting ahead of myself. I was about to go into overtime. But yeah, let's do that. Let's go into overtime. Drew O'Connor tripping against Kevin Fiala. Thoughts?
Okay, so what I said at the time that it first happened is it's one of those things where if this is the playoffs, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that gets called. Like, however, it's still the end of February. You know, you got a couple months. It's unfortunate though, and I don't like this. I don't know what my computer's trying to do. It's an unfortunate call at the time because it's just a diving poke check, and he gets puck on it. And it's almost instantaneous. That's the problem. So that's a call that the referee has to make, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't love it, because to me it looks a lot more like he's making contact with just the puck and less of Fiala
Well, the rule
himself.
is always supposed to be it's like if you get puck first, the penalty doesn't get called. That's always been
Yeah,
the way it's
it's
been
supposed to
called.
be. But Wes
So
McCauley makes funny clips, so he gets benefit of the doubt. This just turned into a Wes McCauley hate train. I don't even like. I think it's valid though. Um,
doesn't necessarily meet the views of the co-host of this episode, and I'd like to not get thrown under the bus in future.
I'll throw you under a bus. Anyway,
Not a lot of transit up here, so good luck.
I'll find something. I'll find a wine tour coach. Anyway, yeah, Drew O'Connor gets called for tripping. Thankfully, the LA Kings power play sucks. So, they kill it off. It's the final minute of overtime. Quinn Hughes after oh wait, I forgot Tyler Myers. Tyler Myers took a puck up high. It was shot, I think it was by Kempe,
Yeah.
and goes off of Bluger's stick and rides up into his neck area.
So it looked to me when they showed it on the replay, if you Sunshine, if you take your fingers here and you try to go underneath your jaw, you can feel a little bit of your eardrum right here, and I'm pretty sure that's where the puck hit him. It's like right on the corner of the
Oh.
jaw underneath the ear.
Oh.
So if you just tap it like that, you can feel the dong 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 like you're hitting a
Mm-hmm.
drum right there. Now do that with like a 85-mile-per-hour puck, right?
Yeah.
It's understandable why dude was kicking his feet like a kid leaving the McDonald's playroom. Like he was not having a good time, and like,
It's in
and to
pain.
be, it's so mean. I shouldn't have said it like that. But like Tyler Myers has had very. I don't want to say it's bad luck because he's blocking shots at the end of the day. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing in situations like that. But you look at him taking one off the eardrum tonight. You look at game 6 against Nashville where he took one off the Goonie Berries. Like, there's a lot that Tyler Myers has done for this hockey team that when it's all said and done, we might be like, oh, maybe not Ring of Honor, but we might be able to name a street after this guy.
I would willingly name a street after Tyler Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a Myers Street somewhere in Vancouver because there's.
Yeah, but just change it to Tyler Myers Street.
Tyler Myers
Like,
Street.
I want Heatley Street to be Danny Heatley Street.
There's a
Because he
Heatley
scored
Street in
1507. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Vancouver. I've lived here my entire life. You have a very serious question. Rip it, and I'll let you know if we have time right now. We also have a Q&A session at the end of the episode. It looks like Drew tripped them all together. But yeah, hopefully Tyler Myers is okay. We know he's the GOAT.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. I was just like, damn, that's scary. And then you just hear one guy, because the near ice mics have been really. No, it's been they've been very sensitive lately. So you just hear one guy yell, "Get up!" I'm like, bro, you try and take it. Anyway, give Tyler Myers a statue. Yes.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Right next
Now
to
we're
Paquin.
Can I break it off just real quick? because I remember there was talks recently about like, would people feel okay about us putting a Sid statue outside of Rogers Arena because of the golden goal? And then there was the dispute where it's like, well, we don't actually have a Canuck player who has a statue at the plaza at Rogers Arena.
We
So
do.
if you were to do a Sid one, you can move it down to like the Olympic display down at the Harbor Center next to the Cauldron, whatever. But
Yeah.
to bring it back to it, if you were to build a Canuck statue on the plaza at Rogers Arena, who would it be? Because like, would you go Hank and Danny or would you go Trev?
Oh,
Or would you go Steamer? Like, there's
I was thinking Steamer because, like, he's been with the club for a very, very long. I said the club. This isn't soccer. He's been with the team for a
you
very
sound
long
like
time.
Jimbo. You sound like Jim Betting. Big day for the club,
Big
guys.
day for the club. I
We're on
traded
Team
for
Tank.
I traded for the ashes of Shea Weber's knees. In exchange, he gets 3 first-round picks and my nephew. Give Louis Erickson a statue. He's retired.
Well, now we're talking.
First ballot Hall of Famer. Wait 3 years. Anyway, you know what? I think we should give Tyler Myers a statue so that it goes all the way up and you have something to look at when you're going in the SkyTrain.
Maybe we could redesign the Harbor Center Tower to be Tyler Myers.
I like that idea.
Like,
That
like
would
the
be-
tower is his neck, and then the
Yeah.
actual
The
observation
lookout,
deck
yeah.
is his head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how well, because SFU has a campus there. I'm not sure how well they'd like it, but I don't care because that camp is kind of trash. So,
Well, hey, I can tell you one thing. If we do that to the Harbor Center Tower, WWE's AI render of the skyline won't mess up and put the Space Needle on the Vancouver t-shirt like they did for Survivor Series.
oh my
Oh,
god.
right. This is just before you got into wrestling. Yeah, when they were here in November for
Yeah.
Survivor Series, they had like the event t-shirt and it had like the North Shore Mountains on the background and like a rough approximation of AI of the Vancouver skyline. And right in the middle is the Space Needle.
That's wow. That's like when 5 Seconds of Summer came here a couple years ago. They made like posters for each concert location, and that's what we get for cheering for Jinder Mahal. They put in the poster for
Don't hit your
Vancouver. For the poster of Vancouver, they had, actual mountains. They're not actual buildings in Vancouver, but they didn't choose any of the North Shore Mountains as the background. No. It's Mount Baker.
I mean, to be fair, iconic BC mountain. Even though it's not in BC, is there a more iconic BC mountain than Mount
It was in
Baker?
an episode of iCarly.
Probably a couple episodes of Frasier as well. There you go.
Okay, I'm not that
The
old.
two Seattle. Kaya, I'm not that much older than you. Don't give me that.
Give Garland a statue.
Quit eating your feet. Quit eating your feet. Quit eating your feet. All right.
Quit eating your feet.
No, I looked over. This entire paw was in his mouth.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just saying, no eating your feet. So
I
now
love this
he's
little
under strict supervision. Chat, you guys got to watch him.
Guys, that's Shorty.
In case you're just joining us.
Yeah.
This is Canucks Twitter's favorite dog.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those eyes.
Even more than Harrison. It's okay. Yeah. Anyway, Canucks. Shorty attack Kaya. Honestly, if I walked in the room, he probably would. Anyway, Quinn Hughes gets on the ice finally after waiting for Derek Forbert to get off the ice. Goes on the rush with Drew O'Connor. No, not Drew O'Connor. With Connor Garland. There's too many Connors. And there was like 2 Connors in the chat. This is too much. At least we don't have Connor McDavid. But yeah, Connor Garland and Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes drop pass to Connor Garland, and Connor Garland tries to put the puck between his legs. And I was just like, I don't think there's enough room there to do that, bro. And so I'm at my desk and I'm yelling Can anyone explain to me why you're not allowed to challenge a goal scored without high state? That's an NHL question. Toronto, like the review room can, but coaches challenge, you can't challenge it. Yeah. And then Garland gets the puck back, able to score again, and the Canucks win in overtime, which is
Great
a rarity.
shot.
Oh, it was a great shot. Connor Garland, first star with his 2 goals. And then-
Just a side note, how fired up do you think the one guy at Sportsnet whose job it is to choose the player of the game for Specsavers? Because Shorty literally said, well, we're going to overtime here, but after 60 minutes, our player of the game is Connor Garland. How good do you think that guy who picked Garland for the player of the game for the first 60 minutes felt?
Yep. Yep, it's like when I do play-by-play and I'm like writing on the first star after like 30 minutes. I'm just like, yeah. Why are you allowed to commit murderers playoffs in playoffs? It's the purge basically of the NHL.
Yeah. Sports in general, because nobody else is allowed to do it. It's just us. Like, could you imagine in the NBA if, like, the third round of the playoffs came around and they just stopped calling traveling? Like,
I that would be really funny.
just like you get to the AFC and NFC championships in the NFL season, and all of a sudden, like you're offsides are just kind of allowed. You're allowed to get a step before the snap, it's like, oh no, it's the playoffs though. You got to let the boys play. Like
you're allowed to in like the finals and like the world in like Copa America or the World Cup or something. You just come and you can punch a guy in the face. Oh, never mind. You're allowed to do that in Copa America if it's against Canada. Anyway.
Well, I thought we were gonna make a joke about the hand of God from '92.
Oh yeah, no, that also works. That it works. You're allowed to cheat if you're Argentinian. That is the result we've gotten here tonight. You're That's the point. On this hockey podcast, you're allowed to cheat in sports if you're Argentinian. So Lionel Messi, it does not matter how many things you take, it does not matter what you do. You can join, who cares about LTIR, join the Vegas Golden Knights, get them a second cup, or just leave the MLS alone, please. Thank you. You can score a game-winning goal in FIFA with your hands. Yep. You can headbutt people, no punishment. That's MLS, but still. You guys ever heard of Don't even get me started about Luis Suarez. He's the guy that bites everybody.
Who was the who did the headbutt in the 06?
Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, that's it.
You can bite apparently. Luis Suarez. Oh, that little munchkin. I just want to squeeze him. Anyway.
Was it Giardina who got the somebody clipped him when he was in the box, but he thought he could catch up to the ball, so he kept running, and then the ball was out of reach, and then he went down and immediately double yellow.
That sounds like some...
And like the commentators there, an outrageous dive there by Giardina.
He also plays a goalkeeper in 10. Oh, yeah. That was a handball. Yeah. That means Burrows was allowed to bite Bergeron in the final. No, Burrows isn't Messi's friend. Yeah, against Ghana. I remember that. Luis Suarez, he would fit in the NHL because he bites. Anyway, hockey podcast. Get your goalie questions in. We have a certified goaltender.
Pressure here.
Yeah, certified goaltender in myself. Just kidding. Joey knows a thing or two in the blue paint, but before we get into any of that, I forgot to do a couple of these. So, shift into hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your news source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Oot, Daphne Melbuff, and Kevin Laramie every Monday and Thursday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network channel, or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. Head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com, for more. And one more, because I have the brain of a pigeon. Looking for ways to help an upstart media company employing over 30 young journalists and analysts across Canada? If you have a few spare bucks kicking around, you better head to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thegameovernetwork. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There's extra access, exclusive looks behind the scenes, Discord benefits, merch discounts, opportunities to give us feedback, and you can join us for special shows live where you can interact with hosts as we launch more ways to improve your experience. If you're not able to spare a few dollars, we have a free tier available so you don't miss out. If you really want to help us, make sure to click the like and subscribe button on YouTube, rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app, and share our work on your social media of choice. That's patreon.com/thegameovernetwork for tantalizing goodies. All right, Joey. I have a question for you.
Tantalizing goodies. That's a nasty read right there.
Don't ask Andrew about it.
And no, I said nasty in a good way.
Nasty in a good way. He's football. I have a goalie question for you, Joey. When will Demko be healthy? It's all on you now. I mean, you're probably more qualified than the Canucks medical staff, if we're being honest.
I mean, okay, so I was joking on Twitter with Canucks Twitter legend Sam, who I was bringing up the fact that it's crazy to see where the Canucks medical staff is currently sitting, because there was a time back in the 90s where broken down players would come to Vancouver for a season literally just to work with our medical staff so that way they could rebuild them, and then they'd go and leave and sign somewhere else. Like, the biggest example of it is Esa Tikkanen. He was a broken down wreck after his time in St. Louis because, he'd had all those runs with the Oilers in the 80s. Then he went to the Rangers, had the run in 94. He went to St. Louis with Keenan for 95. And by the end of it, he was just tattered. He ended up signing in Vancouver, going into the hyperbaric chamber that they had down at GM Place back in the day, which was the only one in the NHL. So it was this advanced type of therapy. And Esa Tikkanen, he got an extra 4 years on his career, literally, from the Canucks medical staff. He was, I think, a 2 and done in Van City. And then he went on and just kept playing in the NHL for another few years. And then you compare it to where it is now over the past 5 years, because you remember the broken wrist for Tanner Pearson that never got properly diagnosed. And then you look at Quinn right now where they're clearing him and then he's not cleared. And then he's got this Marvel-esque splint on his hand where it's going up all 5 fingers. And if he does this, he's going to shoot webs. It's just... And then there's the mystery injury to Thatcher Demko, which you can't actually blame on the Canucks medical staff because, regular medical staff, professionals who work on athletes of all makes and all sports are like, this is something we've never come across before. And it was the phrase we heard from Elliot Friedman over the summer was, he's just going to have to learn to play through it. And we're still in that stage for Demko, unfortunately, where he's going to have to figure out how to play through it. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, you just get an arthroscopic surgery in the summer and then you're good to go by training camp. This is something that we don't know long-term how much this is going to affect Demko. This is definitely going to change the trajectory of his career. I'm not, with the way that Demko played, it's not like he was going to get a 25-year Marty Brodeur-esque career where you retire at 44 with the St. Louis Blues for some reason. Demko's knees and hips wouldn't have allowed that just due to the way that he played. However, now you're starting to wonder, is this dude going to make it to 32 in the National Hockey League before he's going to be forced to call it quits? That's where the question comes in with Thatcher. And obviously, you have great goaltenders in the pipeline. Tolopilo looks promising as all heck. We know what Artur Silovs can do when he is given the opportunity, and the Canucks block shots from the point. But at the same time, for everything that Demko's done for this franchise and what he is to the team, I don't think you give up on him. I don't think that's something that you do. You just kind of have to ride this wave with him and hope that you're able to get him back to what he was. And if not, you might be able to, when this contract gets up, you can sign into a hometown deal and bring him in and just keep him around as a backup, you know? And just keep him, because if you have him in a position where he's not forced to take a 50-plus game workload, he might be able to make it work. You look at what old man Jonathan Quick is doing right now behind Igor Shesterkin over at Madison Square Garden. If you look at the way that Quick was at the end of his time with the Rangers, everybody would have thought, no, his time with the Kings, everybody would have thought he was done. He's transformed into an awesome backup where he's somehow retained his 2014 form as a man in his late 40s. He's older than LeBron James, I'm pretty sure. You know, like he's
Late 40s?
I'm kidding,
I was like,
Kaja.
how old do you think Jonathan Quick is?
It's called hyperbole. I'm trying to make a point here.
No, I get it. I
Cat knows
get
what
it.
I'm talking about. I like that that's what made you jump in. It's like, why are you calling Jonathan Quick old? It's because he is.
He is old, but he's not the oldest goaltender in the league.
Bro, that dude was old. Like, that dude was the best goalie in the league when I was in grade 6, man. I now work in hockey. Like
2014?
No.
2012?
Earlier.
2012?
I was in grade 6 in like 2010. He wouldn't have been quite the best goalie in the league yet, but he was getting there.
Yeah, I was a child. Joey.
Yeah, no, you're right. Shilovs did have a really rough start to the season, when he was up with the big club. And I think that comes down to the fact that if you look at the Nashville series, Shilovs was kind of an unknown commodity at the NHL level, so there wasn't really a book on him. And then by the time the Oilers got their hooks into him, there was 5 games of footage. Four games of footage. Sorry, I forgot about the goalie carousel for the first 3 games of the playoffs. So they had 3 games of footage to watch for Shilovs to know. It's like, okay, if you get traffic in front of him and throw long shots from the point, you might be able to beat him. Meanwhile, if you do anything from below the hash marks, he's going to stop it. So once you get into the regular season this year, everybody knows that. And they're just like, okay, so just long shots with traffic in front. And he has had trouble adapting to that. He's gotten better during his time in the American League this season, but there's still growth that needs to be made. I think that Tolopilo might be somebody to give a look to because of he's an Ian Clarke kind of dream goalie, right? You know, because you always want the tall, lanky kids, but like Tolopilo is a different beast. He's huge.
Yeah. He's like, what,
like his goalie pads
6'6"?
have their own congressman. Like,
an insane bar. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Tolopilo. I'd like to see Tolopilo given a chance. I honestly think Shilovs, when he was brought in, like, he was brought in as the backup and Lankinen was the third stringer. I'm just basing this off contracts. Like, to start the season, it was like flipping between who's going to be back up to Demko when Demko gets back up to speed. Obviously, that hasn't happened. But especially with Shilovs, I think he's very young in terms of goaltender years. I've said this all season. He is like a toddler. Like, because goalies take longer to develop than skaters because there's so much more that goes into the game. As a goaltender. Like, it is one of... I had a poll on my Instagram story a few days ago that was just like, what sport is more athletically taxing or like requires more athletic output? And it was between soccer and hockey. For a skater, it's not as much, but for a goaltender, it is probably one of the hardest positions in all of sports.
and that's the exact thing that I responded to your story with. And I was like, I would say the pound for pound player, I would say soccer is more taxing just because of how long you're there for. Like if you're a starter, you're out there for 70 minutes plus.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, in
Unless
the
your
NHL,
coach is Vanni Sartini. And off at the half. Here we go.
full change.
So
Full change.
full change.
On the fly! On the fly!
I can't. Anyway, we have a new guy. He's Danish. Yeah. Anyway, Vanny high-fived me once and it was great. What was I talking about? Goaltender, more athletically
Yes.
taxing. So it does take longer to develop them. So that's why I think she loves. He did have some issues, and obviously it's just a point that you work on in your game. He was kind of rushed into the NHL because we needed him to be, because Tolopilo's even younger than that.
Well, I mean, like, if you wanna break it down, it's like how many goaltenders in Canucks history were successful as a 21-year-old?
Exactly. Well,
Spoiler alert, I'll tell you, it's one. It was rookie Kirk McLean when we first got him from New Jersey, and even then he was still getting shelled.
yeah.
Like his goals against average was still above 3, but it's still the most successful a 21-year-old goaltender's ever been in Vancouver.
I mean, to be fair, a goals against average of above 3 in the 80s.
Fired up, Kirk.
Pretty good. We're not worthy. Anyway, retire number 1. Double retiring.
For both of them.
For
It'd
both
be
of
so
them.
cool.
Conrad, stop. When you guys won the CPL championship, I was gonna chirp you about Canadian championship, but that really means nothing. Anyway, I mean, it means everything to me. This is soccer. Yeah. What was I talking about? Goaltenders, right. We have a question from Mark in the chat. What goes on in your head when the puck is in the opposing zone? Like, do you sing a song? Like, you sing to yourself or what?
So I actually would when I used to play. 100%. And it's now you may be this is keep in mind this is like 2013, 2014. And you keep in mind it's like pop songs of the day, but if there was like one, it's Timber. Like it's Timber. 100%.
Yeah. That
No,
song.
no. Like that was our locker room jam. It's like it would go Timber by Pitbull and Kesha, then we'd play a couple Mac Miller songs, and then we'd go back to Timber again. Like we loved it.
That song's
Like the most
insane
hype
live.
song of all time.
It's so good. Anything by Pitbull, I think, is a good hype song.
He's awesome,
He
man.
can't do anything wrong. There are 2 artists, I think, in this world that, like, I think can't make a bad song. Pitbull, Bruno Mars.
Bruno, man. So Laura and I are we got weekend tickets this summer. And I know, right?
Oh my god.
Right? We fluked it. But we were just talking about it. It's like, man, it's like if you could have like that dream like who you could see anybody at BC Place, who would you want? And I was like, I think Bruno Mars, hands down. Like I saw a stat. I think it's like 80% of the music he's released has charted like top 20. Like that's nearly everything he's ever released. And that's including features. Like if you go from Grenade on, it's like everything he's released has gone top 20.
Bruno's new stuff is garbage. I'm gonna have to fight you on this. I hate the stupid song Dance Monkey. I don't think that's not a
Not Bruno.
That's not Bruno. That's like some random stuff. But yeah, I also hate that song because I worked retail when that was out, and now I'm in therapy.
I had a dopey friend who really liked it. The hell, Tanner? What were you thinking?
Damn, Tanner catching strays. Yeah. What do you think about trying Elias Pettersson at goaltender?
Well, I remember that on the bench video from 2020,
Yeah.
He looked pretty decent. But if you also remember that was also what originally broke Elias Pettersson, was him doing that video. And that, along with doing Christmas carols with Michael Bublé. And then coming off of that was Pettersson's first bad season as a Canuck.
Oh my god, did Michael Bublé curse Pettersson?
I'd rather it be the on the bench guys cursing Pettersson than Michael Bublé.
Okay. Cause do we need to sacrifice Michael Bublé? He's here for the Junos. I'm sorry, Michael. Your time's up. You had a good run. The Giants will survive
we'll
without you.
microdose you on the way out, dude. It's fine.
It's going so well. It's going so well. Joey just flashed the camera. All right.
Oh, okay.
You did.
Barely. All right, I'm gonna watch the video replay here.
Okay, Janet Jackson.
Oh,
Anyway.
barely. Oh, come on.
Okay, this is about hockey. Goaltender. This is just, I'm just a quick fire. Do you think that we keep Demko? You said Demko would be a good vibes guy to keep around?
I mean,
For what he means
yes.
for the team.
Yeah, for what he means to the team, because I mean, like, you know that everybody in that room right now, Demko's super important to them, right? You know, and especially moving forward at this
They should play
stage,
like
the
it.
core is looking more and more like Quinn Hughes and maybe Brock Besser if they sign him. And if you compare that to what the core was, say like 2-3 years ago, it's a completely different look. But you like Demko is still part of that. And it's like if Quinn and like suppose at the end of this season the Canucks do try to move on from Elias Pettersson, and like moving forward, it's like, yeah, obviously it's Quinn's team, but if you're going to keep one guy around, it'd probably end up being Brock. And it's like, well, if you want to keep those two happy, what would you do? Well, you have to keep Thatcher around in some sort of a role.
Yeah.
And even if his body won't allow him to be a number one who's playing 60 games a year, being up for the Vezina, he still will more like hopefully by that point have it figured out where, okay, if I play like this and, you know, I condition myself this way and I train like this, I can get 25 to 30 games a season. And then you have Tolopilo or Shilovs move into a position where they are ready to take that workload of playing 50, 55 games. You can still have Demko there in a backup role.
We also have Lankinen re-signed.
Lankinen as well, obviously.
Yeah, I'm like,
because like I
we have
think
another
moving
one.
forward, Lankinen is your number one. Like for the foreseeable future, like unless Thatcher gets a new knee, like
he can have mine. Mine doesn't work.
Yeah, but I'd offer mine, but mine aren't great either.
Yeah, I don't know how he's like 6'4" or whatever. I'm 5'7". That would not work. It's just be deep. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, I don't know. I think Lankin is the number one. I understand the vibes part of keeping them around. I'm team keep Petey, but also that's just me, and I get sad when trades happen unless I don't. And
well, it's just like
Canucks,
you'd hate to see a Cam Neely, right? Like,
oh god.
Like that's what it is, because like we're like you have a good portion of the fan base who's convinced that Pettersson is washed at this point, whereas like you have, and so if you trade him away and then he just like he regains that old form, or even worse, he takes another step, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, the Detroit Red Wings are just unbelievable now, right?
There's too much risk. There's more risk than reward, I think, in doing a Pettersson trade, especially now. Which, yeah, I don't know. I think all the people that hate him need to suck it up and find something else in their life to get mad about. I don't know. Maybe your kids don't love you. That's why. Anyway.
And also, just a side note, it's like, dude has tendonitis. Like, have you known somebody who had tendonitis before? It's literally...
It does not go away. Chronic pain does not go away.
It's horrific. Like, my dad had tendonitis because my dad used to work in the pipeline. So he worked hydroelectric.
Okay.
So, you know, just doing jobs like that, you know, eventually. So he had it from like the bridge of his wrist up to his elbow. And there was some days it was totally manageable. Like he could go to we could go to the batting cages at Castle Fun Park and he could hit dingers. He'd be fine. And then there was other days he couldn't get out of bed. Like, imagine being a National Hockey League player trying to deal with that day in, day out. Obviously, you don't want to make excuses for somebody who's making 11.6. I get that. But you also have to understand the human body has its limitations. And when you're dealing with something like that, which more than likely should take him out of the lineup, he's still trying to play through it.
Yep. Well, I mean, the medical staff cleared Mikheyev to play with a torn ACL. Jason Dickinson didn't know he had a broken hand for a year. Bo Horvat didn't know he broke his foot until end of the year media a few years back. Like, or just before the end of the season. Yeah, tendonitis is not fun. My mom has it, and I have a bunch of joint issues too. So, like, it's just not fun. It's not a good time. There are some days where I'm literally crawling to the kitchen to get a Tylenol. Like that's how bad it gets sometimes. So imagine being like a professional hockey player. Like, sure, he makes way more money than I do, but he's still human.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am just sick of people talking about Elias Pettersson like he's the worst NHL. Like, I'm sick of treating Elias Pettersson like he's a nail freaking Yakupov, alright? Like,
it's like this guy's put up a 100-point season. Like, he's not a bad hockey player. He's having a tough time, yeah, but
everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Listen to Hannah Montana. She said nobody's perfect. Elias Pettersson is part of that. Okay? Listen to Hannah Montana. Trust in Hannah Montana. Another blondie. Another blonde girly. We're gonna fix them. We're gonna fix it. Okay?
I quoted that on a broadcast.
You probably did.
I also quoted The Climb on a broadcast. I know I did that last year.
That came out years ago. There was a post I saw. It was like, on this day in 2009, The Climb was released. It was February something, and it was like last week or something. Yeah. Anyway, The Climb is an amazing song. Hannah Montana was so... Miley Cyrus... I was about to say Miley Cyrus is another artist that can't do a bad song. I forgot about the Miley era when I was in, like, grade 6. Not talking about that. Miss 100% of the shots you take. No, that's me. Elias Pettersson. That's a different guy. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And that's what you say when you're trying to get a country invaded. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna talk something a little new here. Something a little new. I opened up the wrong thing. Why is it showing... What? They're showing me Nick Cage, like, car collections. There's, like, a tab on Windows computer that, like, that you scroll over it and news pops up. I didn't want that to happen. Anyway, if you're enjoying the show so far, you probably want more of this, right? Well, make sure you hit the like button on this video, click subscribe on our channel, and make sure you check the notification bell so you're alerted when we go live. If you're listening to our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating or even write a positive review. If you really like us, make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. You can find the Game Over Network on Blue Sky at thegameovernetwork.com, on TikTok and Twitter at Game Over NHL, on Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn at Game Over Network. Joey, where can they find you on the social medias?
I am at _Joey Pitt on Twitter and at Joey.Pitt on the Instagram. And if you'd like to catch me doing my actual job, you could follow the West Kelowna Warriors at BCHL Warriors on all platforms. You could also catch my broadcast on Flow Hockey, or you can listen along for free at mixler.com/BCHL Warriors. That's MIXLR.com/BCHL Warriors. They're in action twice this weekend. On Friday, they're going to be at Rogers Rink in Salmon Arm to take on the Silverbacks. On Saturday, they're going to be at home to the Nanaimo Clippers, as that'll be Nanaimo's first trip to Royal LePage Place since 2023. If you're in the Okanagan, you can get your tickets at westkelownawarriors.ca. All right.
Awesome job. You can find me Kaya May. Yeah, that's my name. You can find me on pretty much anything there. Just probably not MySpace. That took way too long to say. You can also find us at thegameovernetwork.com where you can sign up for our upcoming newsletter. Alrighty. EP40 over 97. The Canucks fan in me wants to be like the EP40 defender in me wants to be like, oh yeah, no, but then I'm...
Dude, it's like when that dude is playing like at the level that he can play at, it's like he's still not, but you can make a case. Right? But you don't have these down periods with Connor. Like Connor's gonna have a bad year, he's gonna put up 125 points.
True. I don't know. Just wait. I don't know. Like, listen, the Canuck fan in me loves Elias Pettersson. The Canadian in me loves Connor McDavid.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's the best hockey player in the world. Maybe the best to ever do it. Like...
Yeah, because honestly, if you put Gretzky in today's NHL, he's putting up... He's doing what Jamie Benn did to get the Art Ross.
88 points.
Yeah, he's just doing nothing. That's what Gretzky's doing in today's NHL, because he has nobody to protect him. Because he was just a little pretty boy, and then he runs off to LA and does nothing with the rest of his career. Literally, that's all he did. And now he's like, oh yeah, I'm Canadian. Bro can't even wear the freaking sweater to a game. Honestly, eat a dick, Wayne Gretzky.
Should have said Mario.
Oh my god, I have feelings about that old man. But yeah, if he was in today's NHL, he would not be the legend. He'd just be some guy.
Mario, on the other hand, still probably the best hockey player who ever lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nasty.
Okay.
Like, I could watch like 37-year-old Mario Lemieux highlights and still be just like, dude, what are you doing? How did you do that?
You know
like,
what?
Your back doesn't work and you've beaten cancer and you're still doing this. Like,
yeah.
It's 2003. How are you doing this?
Yeah, he almost signed in Vancouver. I don't care. You know who signed in Vancouver? Mark Messier. Does that mean I like him? Hell no. He was gone by the time I was born, but still. You know who else signed in Vancouver? Louis Eriksson. But Louis Eriksson is better than both of them.
That's my GOAT, baby.
He is the GOAT. You know, Louis Eriksson's the best hockey player. He's tied with Mario Lemieux. Let's say Hronik over 99. So true. You were talking about the West Coast Express podcast. Yes. What were we talking about?
When
Connor McDavid. Greatest Canucks captain of all time. Conrad, I am flying to Calgary to personally beat you up. Mark Messier. No, the greatest Canucks captain of all time. Tyler Myers. He wore the A while Quinn was gone. He's my goat.
Greatest captain in Canucks history is obviously Roberto Luongo. He was perfect in the ceremonial face-off because he never had to take one. Oh, captain, my captain.
My goat. My sister asked me the other day, so are goalies not allowed to be captains? Well, technically no, but also yes. I had to explain the weird situation. I mean, she also asked me what soccer players do during commercial breaks. So, I'm worried for the state of education in BC. Anyway, this segment was supposed to be about wrestling. For those who follow the WWE, Elimination Chamber is coming to Toronto on Saturday. Joey is much more well-versed in wrestling. I've just started watching it this month, to be honest.
So proud of you for that, by the way.
I got into it because I thought a wrestler was pretty.
Shout out Rhea Ripley.
Shout
Let's
out
go,
Rhea
baby.
Ripley. But yeah. I give Joey the task when we started the stream, before we went live and everything. to think of Canucks players who are the wrestlers going into the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
If you don't know, it's basically all v all. Like,
yeah, so it's a 6-man cage, more or less. So it starts with 2 guys in the ring, and then there's 4 glass pods on the outside, but still inside the cage. And every 4 or 5 minutes, a new pod opens, and then when everybody's in, the last man standing is the winner, and then they're gonna go on to WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes for the WWE title.
yes.
So, and
yes.
very big stakes. It's a super loaded match. So you have the 16-time world champion, big match John Cena, obviously in there. You've got Drew McIntyre's in there. You've got the voice of the voiceless, the best in the world, CM Punk. You've got Damian Priest, Big DP. You've got the wild card of the match that nobody likes in Logan Paul.
Oh, okay. That also, yeah. I was like, Dominic made it? I don't remember that.
And who did I miss?
Who else is in it?
I'm blanking on my 6th.
Okay, sorry, I'm Googling it. Elimination Chamber 2025. Da 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 da. Well, John Cena's in it. I know that.
Yeah, it's Cena.
John Cena
Punk.
is still wrestling. Isn't he like 50? He's retiring at the end of this year.
Yeah.
It is. Does not even show me. What? Oh, wait, no, never mind. It. Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, of course. I feel bad for forgetting Seth Rollins.
Oh no, I feel like everybody forgets Seth Rollins. That's fine. Sorry, that was mean.
So it's 5 of the biggest stars in the company and Logan Paul fighting for the chance to main event WrestleMania against the WWE champion Cody Rhodes, and there's a lot to it. However, we have 2 ways we can go about this, Kaja. Do we want to try and match who we think each wrestler would match most on the Canucks roster, or do we want to do the 6 Canucks that we would like to see put in an elimination chamber?
6 Canucks in an elimination chamber. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. Should we do past and present or just present?
I think we can do past and present. Let's
okay,
make it
cool.
fun here.
JT Miller, Elias Pettersson.
Corey Schneider, Ryan Kessler.
Oh, that's good. I mean, different situations. I think. What? Oh. Okay, you know who would be a beast in Elimination Chamber? Zach McEwen.
Todd Bertuzzi.
Oh. Yeah, fair. Vince
Gino
McMahon would
as well.
love him. Oh. Gino, yeah. Gino would be great. I'm trying to think of who else. Do you think Dak?
I mean, you could obviously throw all the tough guys in there.
Yeah.
Because if you were to do a tough guy version of it, because if you throw Rick Rippon, Gino Ojic, Donald Brashear,
oh yeah,
Wayne Cox, who is great, or pardon me, Craig Cox, not Wayne Cox. He was a weatherman for Global back. Yeah, Craig Cox. Who else was hucking mitts back in the day?
Luke Shen.
Luke Shen, that's a great one.
My goat.
And let's throw Darcy Hordichuk in there.
Oh, good pick.
There we go. We go. There's our goon version.
Zadorov.
Oh, Big Z in there.
Big boy. I was gonna say Tyler Myers, but I think he'd have to be one of the first 2 because I don't think you can put him in one of the glass boxes. I don't think he'd fit.
I feel like he would climb up trying to get on one of the roofs of one of the chamber pods, and then he would get up top and then realize he has no space because of how tall he is and have to climb back down, and then he would get booed.
That'd be so funny. That'd be great. He's the new Big Show. Anyway. Flames legend Todd Bertuzzi. Canada rules, America drools, says Garland Myers. I'm assuming this is current. Garland, Myers, Forbert, Demko, Susie, and Elias
EP25, baby.
Pettersson. That's a
Oh my
child.
goodness.
But then again, they had speed in the Royal Rumble, so. And that was insane.
Oh my goodness. So I watched the Rumble on the bus ride home from Spruce Grove, which is a suburb of Edmonton.
Ooh. Yeah.
After a Warriors game. And when Braun Breaker murdered ISO Speed with that spear, I made a sound that was so loud on the bus that one of the players had to like walk up and be like, Peter, are you good?
I'm just imagining this 16, 17-year-old just walking up and be like, hey man, what up?
You good? And I'm like, no, you know wrestling, right? And you know ISO Speed from Twitch? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was insane. And then the table throw,
Boom!
they should bring the Costco guys in. Next year I want
They were
Costco
using
guy.
him in AEW.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, so I mean, like, dude, big AJ has a pinfall victory on pay-per-view in 2024.
That's insane. Sherwood. We forgot Kiefer Sherwood.
Oh, Kiefer
the
Sherwood, 100%.
Hitmaster.
Sherwood would do a glass spot. Like, he would go through the pod 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Shane McMahon, watch out. Elite ring knowledge. No, just watch YouTube videos. Kevin Owens. I just kind of want him there for the vibes. Cause
He
he's
could
funny.
just be in the
He's the
Canucks
ref.
one. Yeah.
He's the ref. I want Sami Zayn to be there on the commentary table because I just really like Sami Zayn.
He just makes me happy.
I know, same here. I'm trying to think of like. Wait, we were talking about hockey players in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, you started listing wrestlers. Like,
I looked over at the page and I was like, oh yeah, Kevin's fighting Sammy. That's a thing. Anyway. I'm trying to think of who else you would want to put in there. Bieksa on commentary. Bieksa
just in it full stop.
Bieksa would be so good.
Oh, Ed Jovanovski.
Oh god.
Jovocop in there.
You know what would be an elite tag team?
Give it to me.
City Twins. It's the easiest one.
I thought it was too obvious.
I want a three-man match between the Lotto line. Solve who really should have gotten traded.
I feel like Brock would just win because he could just pick up the pieces. He'd roll up like heel Triple H. Just, actually, I'm just going to hit my finisher now and just pin you and keep my world title for another 3 years straight.
Yeah, then I'm going to run this bitch. Anyway. That was not a good Triple H impression. He has a very deep voice. Just stand there getting punched. No, he would just go off to the corner, let Petey and Miller duke it out, and then at the end he'd just come and be like, okay, so that's a messed up wrist, that's a messed up wrist, people's elbow.
Yeah. No, it'd be like the episode of Simpsons where Homer becomes a boxer and he just lets people punch themselves out, and then at the end of the fight he just walks up and shoves them over.
Hey, I mean, JT Miller punched himself out, so... For everybody that didn't watch Four Nations...
Find out.
Yeah, for everybody who didn't watch Four Nations, JT Miller got in a fight. He was the third fight in the first 8 seconds of that game with Colton Parayko, I believe, and he punched himself in the head and knocked his helmet off. So, good riddance. Anyway, any other Canucks that you would think would be a good elimination chamber? Tiger Williams.
Okay. Tiger Williams. That's an obvious pick, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. I got one here. Underrated Canucks hothead, mainly because he wasn't here for very long. Sean Burke. Goaltender Sean Burke. That dude played like 9 games as a Canuck, and I think he had 40 PIMs as a goaltender.
That reminds me of this one specific.
Throw Kluche in there. That dude could huck bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when he killed Tommy Salo for no reason?
Yeah, that was funny. I love goalies. They're so funny.
That's just an assault. That's not even a goalie fight. That's an assault.
Ryan Miller.
Oh, yeah. Most underrated Canuck maybe of all time. I love Ryan Miller so much.
Yeah.
That team was terrible.
That team was terrible. He deserved better. But also, I don't think he's the most underrated Canuck of all time. But that also, if coaches count Tortorella.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I'd want... Well, I mean, then I'd want Roberto in there then.
Yes. And then Eddie's just the ref, so he's just like standing there awkwardly.
Eddie's just handcuffed to the outside. He's forced to watch.
Eddie would be a great... He'd be a great just guy.
He'd be a great Jackie Redmond, Kathy Kelly, just like backstage interviewer.
Yes, yes. Eddie LAK, we have your new job. Quit doing real estate, and you're going to be a WWE
backstage reporter.
Backstage reporter now. We got it. We just gotta call up Stephanie. I'm sure she'll be fine with it. I can't think of anybody else. I want to see Jim Benning in there. But that's mainly just because I want to see.
I could toss in Matt Cook.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Matt Cook and Brad May as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to think of guys who are just hucking hands.
Mitchell.
You know? Ooh, Willie Mitchell's a big boy.
No, I was just thinking of that one hit on Taves. It's my favorite hit in all the NHL history.
What about Beef Cowler?
Royal Rumble, but what? Royal Rumble, but it's Torts versus the Calgary locker room.
Just a gauntlet match. He beats one and another one just comes in after.
Yeah, just like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. By God, that's Mark Giordano's music.
Oh no. And he wouldn't even be old yet.
Oh yeah, no, he's still a baby. If you watch that video back, because I watch it like so many, because I try to explain to people the John Tortorella Canucks era, and I always have to look up the Flames.
It just, in hindsight, it doesn't make sense. Because it's like...
In foresight, it didn't make sense.
No, but like when you look back at it though, because it's just like they had Vigneault, they made the playoffs every year. And then they have Torts for 1 year, they don't make the playoffs. Then they hire Desjardins, and then they make the playoffs again. So it's just like, if you look at that gap, you ignore the years that follow that first Desjardins playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, what happens here?
Jim Benning. No, anyway. Rick talk. He also kind of counts in this. John Tortorella is the JT Miller of coaches.
Ooh, Mike Keenan.
Okay, yeah. Torts is a beauty, bring him back. We're already going through enough suffering with Rick Tocchet. I'd honestly rather have Mike Keenan.
Okay, hang on. Like, you don't say things you don't mean. Come on.
No, you know who I want as a coach? Peter Laviolette, because he'll solve everything. It worked for the Rangers.
What's that French guy that used to play with the Twins doing? Think we can bring back 1-4?
He would be a beast in a Royal Rumble, but like after he's eliminated.
Yeah, he's the one that comes back in with the chair and just lays everybody out because he's salty.
He's the one that's given Liv Morgan a piggyback ride. He's the new Dom. Wait.
I'm thinking like Stone Cold. Like, no, that's not fair. I wasn't ready. What bam? What bam? What are you looking at, Triple H? Bam. Carnego, bam.
Yeah. And then they found out what
So
CTE is.
yeah,
It was really.
I'm not a CTE guy, you know.
Oh, that's all.
I just like to think that maybe they took that quote out of context where he's like, I myself, I don't think that I am a CTE guy. I don't think that I have it myself. Like, I'm hoping that's what he meant, and they just took it out of context.
I'm not a CTE guy. That. Stone Cold. Oh boy.
Still the best ever, but like,
Still, I'm not a CTE guy. Also, fun. Yeah, they show my favorite NHL hit while they're talking about CTE in different sports, and I'm just like, oh. Anyway.
remember when Chara killed Pacioretty on the turnbuckle?
Oh god, that wasn't even the hit. They showed the Mitchell on Taves hit.
Oh,
That's my favorite hit in NHL history. Cause it's on Jonathan Taves. Yeah, coming. Kessler would be the Nux version of New Jack.
can you see?
I kicked something.
I'm just trying to think if I could see somebody who would be more likely to like pull a shank on somebody in a shoot match, like or in a like who's
Brad Marchand. Oh, that's not a Canuck. Alex Burrows.
yeah, I got
Connor Garland. Niels Hoaglander. Tristan Nielsen. Abbotsford Canucks. Still counts. I think we broke Joey.
no, I just got one. It's too dark of a joke. I don't want to make it.
Okay. We're good. All right. Let's move on. I just said
I'll tell you off air. Don't worry.
I just said I mean it's a good thing that Jonathan Taves gets hit.
No. Trust me.
Yeah, we don't. Yep. Anyway, what better way to support something you love than by repping it on yourself?
I'm mad now.
Oh God. What better?
Tim Hunter, by the way. Tim Hunter would be another one who would be great in a Rumble. Old man Tim Hunter.
Tim
Sorry.
Hunter. Okay.
There we go. Now do your ad read. A little bit nicer mouthwash going in there. Tell me about some shirts I can buy, Kai.
Yeah, what better way to support something you love than by repping it on yourself? Game Over's apparel line is dropped with 3 unique lines. Whether you feel the nostalgic pull of a retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, want to wear your love for the goalies proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, or if you just need another coffee and a toque to get through the winter, we have you covered. Designed by Brady Chalis from Game Over Winnipeg, use the QR code on Stream now and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. All right, to quote David Pumpkins in that one SNL skit that gets stuck in my head for a month every year. Any questions? Please tell me you know what. Okay, cool.
Of course I do.
Okay, I was like, you kind of froze for a second. I was like, does he not know? Do I just look stupid as hell? Like,
how many floors are David Pumpkins? He is a majority of the floors.
You know what was stuck in my head after the 50th episode?
What?
The Domingo.
Okay, so I feel bad that my biggest thought when I was watching the 50th episode was actually a memory of an older episode. But remember the 100th digital short?
Vaguely, I think so.
It's like the greatest hits compilation essentially. It's Andy, Akiva, and Justin Bieber.
Yes. Yep.
Great stuff.
No, I was thinking like it was the main Domingo guy, but that Sabrina Carpenter's there, so it makes it all better. And then I'm having to explain the story of that sketch to my mom, and like I can't do it justice, and she's not understanding what I'm trying to say, and I'm like, no, and then Pedro comes in, and because
it's me trying to explain the Bad Bunny Shrek skit to Richard.
Bad Bunny, he is
My favorite.
he's my favorite. He's just in everything, and I love him for it.
Have you seen his match with Damian Priest?
Yes, I have seen his match with
It's
Damian
great.
Priest.
It's
It's
so
so
much
good.
fun.
It's
One of the best entrances ever.
yeah.
Uh,
I love Bad Bunny. He was great on
he's so
SNL.
cool.
He's great. He makes great music. I cannot think of a single thing. I had a whole thing. I had a question that I was gonna ask you, and I had it this week. I was thinking about it. Completely forgot. Completely forgot. I had a midterm this morning, so that might be why.
Fair, fair.
Kind of had to memorize all of Mediterranean and Balkan nationalism in the early, or just in the 1800s, pretty much. Yeah, it was a fun midterm. Um, I wrote 800 words in an hour.
I make fun graphics for a junior hockey team. I say he shoots, he scores.
Yeah, I want to do that, but instead I am doing.
J- Can I quickly commend you for a moment? I want to go ahead and congratulate you for getting behind the mic, doing play-by-play for the JPHL. I think
Well,
that's
thank you.
really cool that you're doing a few games here and there.
Um,
It's a great way for you to improve doing stuff like this behind the microphone and get yourself ready for when we're doing P-Dub games at the Coliseum. It's gonna be like genuinely, I'm really happy that you're doing games down there. It's super good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing the FSL playoffs, the BC round this weekend. So if you want to check that out, that's the thing that I'll be doing. Um, but yeah, it's
For
fun.
Vengeance Media,
Yeah,
D
I
Millard.
I it's funny to think a year ago, like this week, was when I was first on color.
Yeah, which is the thumbnail for this video is
Yes.
you and me in the broadcast booth
Because
there.
I could not think of if we had any other photos, and I made that during the third period. I was just like, oh yeah, I have a photo with Joey on my Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna actually send you like a headshot or something because I mean she might need something, but
Yeah, I probably should have asked that. Anyway,
it worked out.
it worked out. I would have just used a picture of your dog. Um, that would be a great stream to do. Just the thumbnail, just the picture of the dog. I'll put Harrison. I can do it from my mom's house. It's fine. I mean, he's actually closer to me right now. That's awesome. Thank you. Um, yeah. Uh, Joey, do you have any last questions? Any last words?
Oh, I mean, I don't really have much more to say aside from, following up what I said earlier, 2 games this weekend for the Warriors, Friday in Salmon Arm, Saturday home to Nanaimo. Friday's game you can catch on Flow Hockey or listen live on AM 1150. So on the radio, if you're in the central Okanagan, if not, go to their website, AM 1150's website. They have an online live listen player that you'll be able to catch the broadcast on. And then Saturday's game in West Kelowna will be on Mixler. So if you want to catch either of my broadcasts, it's always appreciated. Love having other people listen along. It's going into the last month of the regular season. It's starting to get into the real nitty gritty. Warriors are fighting for that last playoff spot in the Interior Conference right now. They're battling with the Okotoks Oilers and the Spruce Grove Saints. The 4 of them are separated by about 5 points between the 3 teams. So
Damn.
for that last playoff spot, it's really tight right now. So every point matters. So it's some really exciting hockey. So if you're in the Central Okanagan, make your way down to West Kelowna on the Saturday for the home game. And if you're out in the shoe swap, travel up to Salmon Arm and say a quick hello.
Both great areas. Yeah. I went to Salmon Arm once. Anyway. Okay, I killed Joey. I think that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me and Joey. It's been so much fun. It was so much fun having you here. And he's turned the lights back on. Uh,
You know, I had to. I had to finish off with a little bit of energy here. It's like we're locked at a Triple H entrance now, so we're just getting flashy lights. I guess they're not that intense right now. They were a lot worse earlier.
Yes. All right. Great story, Kaya. Salvador, the pool was nice, and I went in the lake, I think. I don't remember.
Well,
I was like 14. Anyway, I'm trying to do the outro. Thank you so much for watching Game Over Vancouver. The Vancouver Canucks win in overtime, 3-2, which is
that's
just
right. That happened today.
they win in overtime 3-2. I've been Kaja Antic, joined by Joey Pitt. You can find him, Joey Pitt, and also at the West Kelowna Warriors, or maybe in Salmon Arm. And you can find me, Kaja May, pretty much everywhere. Thank you for watching. Check out Game Over Vancouver. Check out Game Over Network. Check out all of Game Over's stuff. And yeah, hope you have a great week, night, day, whenever you're listening to this. Hope you have a great millennia. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.